All right, let's talk about the Mitsubishi Triton and why, despite the fact that you've got a cacophony of crossover SUVs, electrics, and hybrids, trucks such as these ones still sell and are high on the hearts and minds of people who want to buy particular vehicles. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be doing a full review of the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2. Alright, so the front fascia of the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 is unmistakably bold, aggressive, and yes, modern. You've got these high-mounted LED DRLs, LED headlamps, and yes, you got fog lamps on the GLS 4x2. If you're thinking that you need to get the 4x4 athletes just to get those fog lamps, Mitsubishi's got you covered, and you got them right here. The squared off grille right here isn't something that you'd find in any other vehicle, and you would not be mistaking the Mitsubishi Triton GLS for any other truck in the market out there. Now, one thing that the Mitsubishi Triton has though is a polarizing design. It's either you love it or hate it, and I might be in the camp of absolutely adoring what you got right here. You got the Mitsubishi badge right here. It's embossed right here on the top of the grille. You got a chunky looking bumper right here at the bottom, and of course a large hood up there. You got another camera sticking right there on the top of the front windshield that works with the advanced driver assist systems that you do have with the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2, and again adds a little bit more savings if you're thinking about getting this variant instead of the top of the line 4x4 Athlete. All right, so the front end of the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 might not resonate to a lot of truck fans out there because of how modern it looks, but trust me, it's definitely going to grow on you, and you have got to see this in the metal. Now, the side profile right here has a more balanced and purposeful design. Now, it's got a nice aggressive stance that's not going to be too overbearing and too much. In fact, it doesn't have one of those black plastic claddings right here because it really doesn't need it. You got those muscular haunches right here in the front and continuing over right here in the back, and a striking character line that runs right across here, giving it a hint of modern aggressiveness. You got 18-inch alloy wheels here. They don't have that blacked out design, but it's definitely something that I appreciate, especially with this mid-range pickup truck from Mitsubishi. It's also fitted with these all-terrain tires right here, adding a little bit more to that go anywhere type of vibe. Now, with these types of 4x2 pickup trucks, I mean, customers don't really look for something that can actually go off-road, but they're looking for something that looks and feels like it can go off-road, and that's what you've got right here. You got a chunky step board right here, and what really bugs me right here are these chrome side mirrors and chrome door handles. Really doesn't fit the bill in my opinion, but that's just me. You can go ahead and replace that if you want, but hey, at least you still have 222 millimeters of ground clearance to play with, despite the fact that you've got this chunky step board right here. One thing that I miss from the previous Mitsubishi Strada though is that J line that you've got right here. Right now it's this straight line here in the back. It doesn't add a little bit more space or cargo area, so it's something that I would definitely miss, but at least it looks amazing, especially with the sport bar right here in the bed. That is hard metal, by the way. And of course, you got drum brakes right here in the rear as well, which is a bummer for me, especially in 2024, where a lot of vehicles are giving us four-wheel disc brakes, but you've got drums. It's definitely adequate if you ask me, and you're not going to take this out on the track anyway, but disc brakes are still a nice additional value if you ask me. Now, I'm definitely not too much into trucks, but one thing I know about truck owners is that they love customization. If I want to customize my Mitsubishi Triton though, it would be this. I would probably add struts right here to the rear door, make it a lot easier, because as it stands, it's pretty heavy. You got LED tail lamps right here. The Triton badge proudly shows itself right here in the back. You got a camera right here that works with the 360-degree camera system, which is a surprising addition if you ask me, especially for a truck at this price point. Other thing with the continuity of the design right here of the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 is that despite the fact that you've got a body match front bumper, the rear isn't body match. You've got this this gray trim right here in black. They probably, if you colored it into white, or probably added a little bit more color right there in the front, that would be okay. But hey, again, I don't know much about trucks, but I guess people would be customizing this a lot according to their liking. That's what trucks are all about anyway. So anyway, looking into the bed right here, this is the reason why you would be getting a truck yourself. And the Mitsubishi Triton makes a good case. So the Mitsubishi Triton definitely has a lot of usable space right here because you definitely want this because it's a truck. You got almost more than 5 feet right here. For the length and the width, so well, not counting the wheel wells, of course. So you definitely put a lot of stuff in there, and it's a pretty high loading capacity as well. Now, one thing that you would want to consider when buying a truck like the Mitsubishi Triton GLS is that it's got a high loading floor, about more or less 3 feet right here. So if you want to put in heavy items right here, you definitely have to do a little bit more curls. Luckily, you have the tailgate right here to do your curls. You can do this right here first before you load in those items. Plus, you don't have to worry about scuffing the paint because it's got a bed liner right here. I know you guys who are into trucks want to have this particular feature installed out of the factory. Again, Mitsubishi's got you covered. So right off the bat, inside the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2, I'm surprised with the amount of plushness it has here. I mean, when I say plush, I mean, I wasn't really expecting a lot of soft touch material right here on the dashboard, in the door cards, especially for a mid-range, mid-sized pickup truck such as this one, and not the top of the line one as well. You got leather wrap steering wheel that is adjustable for both reach and brake. That's nice. You got these leather materials right here on the dashboard with real stitching, contrast stitching. It's white over black, as well as on the door cards. And plus a carbon fiber looking trim right here on the door handle as well, and a nice padded center armrest. So anyway, on the steering wheel, you've got all your controls that you're going to need. Your media controls are right here on the left, and your cruise control buttons right here on the right. Doesn't have adaptive cruise control, by the way, if you're asking. We'll get to that later on. You got a huge 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system right here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The only thing that's wireless though is the Apple CarPlay, but the Android Auto, you would need you definitely need a cable for that. But you do have a wireless charging pad right here that helps out. Yep, there you go, it's charging. It should be fine right there. Okay, you also have dual AutoZone climate control here. Just nice, a nice addition again for a non-top of the line pickup truck. And what I appreciate about the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 though is that you've got physical buttons for both your volume, your tuning knob, and of course the AC controls. So you don't have to dig in through the menu system here just to control those simple commands, which of course is something I really appreciate. Now you got a beige headliner right here. You got a start-stop button right here at the bottom of the AC controls. 2 USB ports, one USB-A and one USB-C, and of course a 12-volt socket, which is appreciated. Now below the shifter here, where you'd usually find the Super Select drive selector for the 4-wheel drive, right there on the Athlete, instead you've got this hole where you can probably put in your coins right there. So yes, instead of the dial, you get a hole where it used to be, and right behind it are these nice cup holders and a physical handbrake. This is definitely something that is looks pretty old school. It might not look as sleek as electronic handbrakes, but it does the job, and I appreciate that right there. The seats are nice and soft. They're very supportive, especially the side bolsters right here. So it keeps me in place despite driving aggressively. They're not leather wrapped, but it's, especially in our hot climate, it's something that you would appreciate. Now going back to the gauge cluster right here, the physical gauge clusters sandwich a 7-inch multi-information display, giving you all the details and information you need about your drive. And there you go. It's pretty straightforward. You've got this grab handles by the door, which a lot of first generation or second generation Montero owners or Mitsubishi Strada owners actually appreciate. You've got it right there. The seats are manually operated, so you can adjust your settings easily. That's fine. Straightforward, sleek, modern, and surprisingly plush. All right, so sitting right here in the back, well, typical with any pickup truck out there, the seats are definitely mounted upright here, and there's no way for you to recline it backwards, so you get what you get. Also, the second row is a bit higher up. They're mounted higher up right here, giving you this stadium-like feel where the front row is actually lower than you are, but you do have a lot of space. Apart from the center tunnel, this chunky center tunnel right here, I've got a lot of space for my knees, my legs. There's even a small divot right there underneath the seat to give space for my feet. I don't have a lot of headroom though, but this is definitely workable, but it's definitely going to ruin my hair, but this is just fine. You do have two USB ports, another 12-volt socket right here in the back, and a center armrest to work with. You also have two map pockets, as well as two smaller pockets right here for your phone. And yeah, this is definitely workable. It's not going to be the most comfortable, the most luxurious place or space you can be in, but this is definitely just fine for me. All right, enough of that. Let's take this out for a spin and give this a try. We've driven this a few months back, and it gave me good impressions. But I want to compare this to the 4x4 Athlete and see if the 4x2 is enough for you or your daily drive. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2. The last time I drove a Mitsubishi Triton in this variant was during our first look, and we weren't really able to bring it out on the city, and now I'm able to do so, and it actually feels very, very car-like in my opinion. I mean, usually when you're buying trucks, you have this understanding that it will be a rough ride. I mean, it's gonna be rough. It's not really at the same level as crossover SUVs or sedans, but it's very smooth. It's very soft inside here, despite the fact that you're driving around in a truck with coil spring suspensions in the rear and carrying a bed. I can see how people would definitely daily this vehicle, and because of how smooth it is. I mean, you're still driving around in a diesel, but you can barely feel or hear the clatter of the engine in the interior. I like how Mitsubishi was able to insulate the sound and isolate yourself from the noise on the outside. So yeah, it's really nice. So under the hood, you've got a 2.4 liter turbocharged diesel engine that makes around 180 horsepower and 430 newton meters of torque. Now, it's not class leading. In fact, it's a few ways below the 4x4 Athlete variant, but it's still very workable. It feels very springy, very sprightly. Maybe it's because of the fact that it is a whole lot lighter than the 4x4 variant. And yeah, the steering is actually nice. It's nicer. The reason behind that could be because the 4x4 Athlete has a electronic power steering, and this one uses the old school hydraulic steering mechanism, and it really is nice. And you can really feel the power every time you step on the accelerator pedal. It only has 6 speeds to deal with, so you got a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the power goes to the rear wheels. So you got an independent wishbone suspension up front and a rigid coil spring in the back, which is on par with trucks these days. I mean, it's not going to have that, fully independent suspension, because you need the towing and the weight capacity to bring in a lot of stuff. So if you've got independent suspension, you won't be able to achieve the amount of payload and towing capacity in here, because it's definitely going to damage the suspension. So you would need leaf springs. So officially, Mitsubishi rates the payload capacity at 1,115 kilograms. And although we haven't seen any towing capacity on the Philippine specs, Philippine website, we've done our research, and it can do about 3,000 to 3,500 of towing capacity. So if you want to bring around your small boat, your yacht, or probably another vehicle, you can definitely do so in the Mitsubishi Triton, thanks to the suspension setup and the power that you have right here. So even though you're going, you've got a full load here or going uphill, it's no problem for the Mitsubishi Triton GLS, even at the 4x2 variant. So the suspension's definitely, again, it's bouncy, sure, but it's not rough. So it feels a little bit boat-like in here. If you're going through particular ruts or road imperfections, you will feel that bounce, but you won't. It's not going to be as crashy or as hard and rigid as those old school pickup trucks that you know about. It's definitely comfortable, very dailyable. All right, so another thing about why people still buy pickup trucks, despite the fact that you've got electrified options available to you, it's got a diesel, and of course, it's got good fuel economy. In the city, we're able to get 8 kilometers per liter in heavy traffic, and once you're out on the highway, you can expect around 15 to 16 kilometers per liter. And that's the thing about diesel trucks and diesel vehicles. Its innate feature of being a little bit more fuel efficient than gasoline cars is a plus, despite the fact that you're bringing a big hulking beast like the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2. So it comes to safety features. Even though you're purchasing the mid-grade variant of the Triton, Mitsubishi's definitely not skipping out on the features. For starters, you've got a 360-degree camera system. Now, what mid-range pickup truck would definitely have that? I think the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 is definitely going to be up there in my list of my short list, just because of that 360-degree camera system. It is high resolution and has a good refresh rate, which is definitely some of the things that you would want, especially in that particular feature. You got multiple airbags, you got stability control, basically everything that you've got in the Athlete except the active yaw control of the Super Select shifting here. You don't also have lane keep assist, but you do have rear cross traffic alert, a forward collision warning, forward collision mitigation system, which is actually a good plus, especially in this particular vehicle. It's also got blind spot monitoring systems. Again, all these features add up to the value that you get out of the Mitsubishi Triton. Pricing for the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2 starts at 1,582,000 pesos, which is quite a ways away from the top of the line 4x4 Athlete at 1,909,000 pesos. Now, for the people who want the very best, you know, they've got all the features, they want all the features, they want to have that 4x4, that Super Select drive mode features, yeah, go ahead and probably purchase the 4x4 Athlete. But for those who just want a regular truck, something that they can expect to start every day, it can definitely get you from A to B no matter what the road conditions are. The GLS 4x2 variant is definitely a good option, and it's good enough as well. Now the exterior is definitely going to be quite different. It doesn't have those trims, doesn't have the body kit, but for me, especially for someone who's looking for a blank canvas to work with, this is a good ways to go. Plus the interior, in my opinion, is much simpler. It's much easier on the eye without those orange or red accents inside there. This is good enough for me. I love how they still put in this huge touchscreen infotainment system. The 360-degree camera is definitely a game changer in this segment. So you don't have to move over to the top of the line variant just to get that feature, and you've got it right here. So that's our full review of the Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x2. It's got a great balance of both power, practicality, ruggedness, and usability. Now you got a comfortable interior, modern technology, and of course a contemporary look that a lot of buyers are looking for in this segment. Trucks no longer are out there just for, just for usability, just for the practicality and it just Spartan looks. It now is a lifestyle vehicle that a lot of guys are definitely want to appreciate, especially they want to be known as the guy who goes to the parties, goes to all these places driving a truck. So that's definitely one of those lifestyle dailies that a lot of companies are looking for. But what do you think? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Do you want to see yourself driving around in the Mitsubishi Triton GLS? Drop me a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. This has been Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.